Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to another episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. The title of today's stream is Interest Rate Cuts Next Week. How will crypto react? Big question, big elephant in the room, and we're going to dive right into it, guys. We've seen a little bit of chop here locally. It feels like another week has gone by and price is just kind of doing up, down, up, down, up, down in a very tight compression. But the key takeaway, in my opinion, is that this is very much so a compression or a coil. So the question is, which way is this coil going to break? But there's also sort of like a little albatross that we need to talk about, okay? Little potential hiccup. The probabilities that the market is forecasting for a 50 basis point cut have suddenly creeped back up to about 50-50. So we're going to talk about the implications of what a 25 basis point cut at next week's FOMC on September 18th could mean for the market, as well as a 50 basis point cut. We got our man Louis today. I think it's just going to be me and Louis. We might have somebody else joining us, but I think it's just going to be me and Louis Tuesday McFriday cooking for you guys today. Do me a solid, because I don't want to pull up the soybeans today, guys. I don't. I'm tired of the soybeans. I just told Louis I actually have an allergy to beans, so now I can't even eat beans. And that's the last thing I want to look at. So, guys, if you're coming in right now, maybe you missed the intro. Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm going to make them earn my like. That's fine. I get it. But it's Friday. It's Friday. If you could do me the solid, get it out of the way early, hit that like button. Don't make me pull up the soybean chart, guys. It's more painful for me than it is for you. But you know what? Let's do this. We're going to pull Louis' chart up right now. He's going to cook a little bit because, Louis, this 58.4 region has been really sticky the past 48 hours. I was watching it all yesterday. Somebody really doesn't want 58.4 to be broken. I have a feeling they're going to get their teeth kicked in, but I'd like to know your thoughts. What's the deal with 58.4?
I mean, this is a clear level of doing business, Max. I don't know how else to put it. I even put this chart on the Discord call this morning. I put one line. It's just one line, right? But we have multiple touches here from the top side and the underside. So this is an obvious area, a sell side and buy side demand, so multiple touches here. And right now we're testing this level. We're at this level. And I was saying on the Discord this morning that if we do pop this level, if we can get back above this level, I think we're going to see a quick pop up to this 62K area. And that's because there's a lot of price action going on in here. So, I mean, this is a key area, and that's why we're kind of churning through the supply. This is all supply here. All this price action in here is gonna put sells in this area before we get back above this trend line. So once we do, I could see a quick pop, up into this area here, at least the 62K area, and start filling some of this stuff that we have up here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's going to be quick. So let's start with this, okay? You set the stage beautifully for us, right? We've identified, in our opinion, our shared opinion, the most important level on the chart. It's a stubborn level, but stubborn levels are meant to be blown out, okay? Both to the top side and to the downside. The title of today's stream, Louis, is Interest Rate Cuts Next Week. How will crypto react? This past, I'd say, like 2 to 4 week period has been an engagement farm frenzy on the macro boys. Not to paint them all with a broad brush, because I actually really like a couple of them, and I might show them some love on stream here. But some of the macro boys who are not actual traders, they're very smart, but they're not traders.
Right.
Explaining almost as if it is a certainty, an absolute certainty, that as soon as we get cheaper debt, cheaper money, somehow that is inherently and automatically, instantaneously bearish. And when we get a cut on the September 18th meeting, it is going to be bearish. And then they like to pull up the yield curve. and they like to overlay, the 10-2 inversion or uninversion, and they go, okay, well, also at the same time, and of course, it's because they're cutting rates, right? It's the same thing that happens every cycle, right? And they go, when the yield curve uninverts and we get rate cuts, you're gonna get basically an immediate bearish recession, like a huge recession. So, Lou, I wanna pin you down here, man. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat. All right.
Are we gonna hit the wrestling mat? You're gonna try to pin me here?
You have a low center of gravity. I don't really like my odds, honestly, man. I don't know if I like my odds against you. I think I've
Uh,
I've got more reach, but you've got
yeah,
you've got
yeah.
that density, man.
You can maybe ankle pick me or something.
I'd have to cheat. I'd have to hit you with some elbows or something. Hopefully the ref doesn't see. But Louis, you're on the mat, okay? You're on the mat. I'm throwing elbows at you. Interest rate cuts are next week. How will crypto react?
Well, we like to compare crypto to a high risk, a high beta asset. So we like to compare it to the Russell as well. You've said multiple times, you don't get Bitcoin and altcoins into price discovery until the Russell's in price discovery, right? In a very simplified kind of way to say it, and I'm not an expert on interest rate cuts and all that stuff. I'm really not. I'm more of a price action analyst and trader, but and as simply as put as possible, lowering interest rates makes business cheaper for companies, and it makes for smaller cap companies anyways, and it makes doing business cheaper and more profitable. um so I don't see, yes, we've seen a couple times where they started cutting rates and the market started to correct. um but the fact that lowering interest rates will make bit smaller businesses more profitable, um it is kind of a bullish tailwind in my opinion, because it'll allow those companies to start generating profit, borrowing more money, starting seeing more cash flow into their business, but whether it's through borrowing or whatever it is. So I don't see it as bearish. And we haven't been pumping, into these rate cuts. We've actually had, an equities. We've seen pullbacks across the board, sizable pullbacks, and crypto. We've basically been consolidating for 6 months. So if we were pumping, nonstop into these cuts, I'd be a lot more concerned and worry about that, because I'd be like, okay, like we're gonna probably see a knee jerk reaction from the rate cuts. But the fact that we've already seen a pullback leading into these pretty much fully telegraphed cuts at this point, as well as crypto has basically been consolidating and coiling up for the past 6 months, and the fact that this is probably going to be bullish for low cap stocks like the Russell. I think it's a bullish catalyst for low cap stocks, and it's a facto crypto, because it's going to
Do you think
simply
it matters if
follow.
we get 25 or 50 bips or no?
See, I don't like, I mean, maybe 50 would kind of worry some people, but at the same time, 50 could be like, okay, we're just speeding up the process. And capital is going to be cheaper, quicker. So that, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't see a bear. I mean, you're going to see knee jerk reactions on the lower time frame on a day to day basis. But looking out like a month from now, like I don't see it being a bearish thing unless something's breaking. But we have a strong GDP still. Unemployment's not real. It's kind of like hanging out around this level, and like you've been saying, it's relatively low
Yeah.
historically. So I mean, I don't see this as such a bearish thing. And just at a plain, just like simple way to put it, we're in the middle of a market cycle, in my opinion, and that's how I play these markets, specifically crypto. Is that we still have around 300 days left, in this Bitcoin and crypto market cycle. And this could be something that gives us that final push into that last couple hundred days where we do see that crazy, euphoria type price action. So, I mean, I'm still bulled up. I'm still in bull mode. But I mean, we'll wait and see. But I don't see it being a bearish catalyst at all.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I am a little bit in the camp that 50 basis points could be worrisome, right? I see what you're saying as well, and you're 100% right. 50 basis point cut would immediately be the wind in the sails of small cap companies, assuming that something larger is not brewing under the surface that I guess at this point I don't know what it would be. Maybe somebody out there does know what it would be. I don't know what it would be. But we just went through, in 2021 through, 2023, we went through the fastest tightening cycle that we've ever had. So perhaps we will go through the fastest cutting cycle that we've ever had as well. I don't know. I mean, that's not what the market's necessarily pricing in, but I'm a bit torn on it, right? Because I look at Bitcoin and I go, yeah, we've got time, right? We've been basically bleeding, drawing down, pulling back for 6 months now. We topped in March. We had the Bitcoin halving in April. Typically, when you get that aggressive shakeout and minor capitulation following a Bitcoin halving with the US presidential election less than 2 months out, you shove that dip. You shove that dip and you
Yeah, fuck
wait
the
basically a year, right?
Yeah.
So I look at that and I go, okay, let's left curve this and pretend that we've never studied like what happens. Let's ignore 2000 and 2008, right? I don't think that makes sense to really even compare it. By the way, that chart looks unreal. That chart looks so epic, man. But you have to look at it and go, all right, let's left curve this just a little bit, just enough, right? We're not going to ignore everything, but we're going to cherry pick a little bit. Money's getting cheaper, whether it's cheaper by 25 basis points or 50 basis points. Debt, which is money, is getting cheaper. Okay. Debt's getting cheaper. Small cap companies, Russell 2000 type of companies, are going to immediately feel relief. A lot of these companies operate their business off of sort of a revolving variable interest rate line of credit. They use it to make payroll. They use line of credit to service long-term debt. Buy equipment, whatever it is, right? They run their businesses off of interest only variable rate debt. A lot of that debt is going to be subject to immediate interest rate changes. Okay. As soon as they cut, they're going to feel relief. And I think that's why you're seeing the Russell already pricing in favorably, potentially, a coin toss of a 25 or 50 basis point cut. I kind of want to left curve it a little bit and just go US election, which is typically a bullish catalyst. When you get a new president, you're going to get money printing. You're going to get some form of QE. Okay. The first year of a presidency is typically very good. Okay. It's usually very, very good for risk. You get about a year of froth, and then you get something that happens. So that would take us out at least into late Q2, early Q3, in my opinion, of froth. Things should go up. You had the Bitcoin halving in April. You got cheaper money, whether it's 25 or 50 basis points. You've got US unemployment at 4.2%. The previous print was 4.3%, which was a surprise, right? But what you have to consider as well is that, yeah, we could look at 2000 and 2008 and say, yeah, look what happened. Unemployment started curling up right as the Fed was cutting rates. The context and the backdrop of those cuts were very bearish. Those needed to happen. You were coming in 2000 out of basically the biggest earnings expansion NASDAQ bubble, internet.com bubble of all time. I'm pretty sure the average PE was like 70 or 80 or something like that. Like, these companies were trading at valuations off of their bottom line of basically like 2 or 3x what they are right now. You can't really equate the level of froth or bubble that we're seeing right now to anything close to 2000. You could cherry pick a couple stocks and go, yeah, some of these companies are bloated. Okay, of course, there's always going to be something, but I'm talking about as a collective, right? 2007, 2008, you saw bankers, partaking in very predatory lending to the average home buyer, basically selling you know
That was
selling
a frothy real
mortgages.
estate market.
They were selling mortgages to people that were absolutely not qualified. You were having
Not checking their their credit, like just selling them stuff. And
yeah,
then the banks were trading it.
if something like that is happening and we don't know about it, then we're cooked, right? But I don't know. I'm here every day.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm somewhat informed.
Right.
I follow the right people. I do the research. I don't know what that would be right now. It doesn't mean that it's not out there, but I don't see anything comparable to 2007 and 2008. But I said this on the last market check that I was on. A lot of people, they like to just ignore what happened after the 70s and in the 80s. When we actually had, in the early 80s, unemployment was climbing. And in the 70s, we were coming out of a very high inflationary decade where we had, in my opinion, if we wanted to draw comparisons to what we're coming out of a more expedited version of the 70s in terms of inflation and a Fed tightening cycle. But people like to conveniently ignore that cycle and go, oh, it's 2000 and 2008. There's no way it could be the 80s, right? There's no way it could be the 80s. So I'm inclined to say, look at the Russell. Like, we're coming out of basically like a 600 to 700 day reaccumulation.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that was caused by debt, more expensive money, basically from 2022 all the way until present, and they're finally about to get some relief. And there's one thing we know about the Russell and crypto. Whether you want Bitcoin to be hard money or scalable money or not, I don't care what you want it to be. I hope that one day it does. But right now, Bitcoin, the past decade, not even just right now, a decade's worth of data suggests that Bitcoin is a little bit more tied to small cap companies and liquidity conditions than it is something like gold. Not that there's not a correlation there, but Bitcoin has never gone into price discovery without the Russell also going into price discovery just before. So that's why we're so focused on the Russell, because we know what it has historically meant for crypto, right? You need Bitcoin in price discovery if you want your altcoins in price discovery. So,
like, look at this.
if you want your altcoins in price discovery, you need the Russell in price discovery.
That's it. And you brought up a good point about, like, it makes businesses, it makes it easier for these businesses to do business. They have more cash flow and stuff like that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Max, but doesn't also lowering of interest rates, does that also impact like credit card interest payments and stuff like that?
I think for
I'm
new
pretty sure I heard
credit
someone
cards,
say that.
I'm pretty sure that old credit cards, you're just locked in.
Because even if you get that, like, that's also taking pressure off the consumers as well. You know what I mean? Because I know it's obviously it's pretty known fact that, like, we have record high credit card debt, but that interest is a killer. You know what I mean? So I mean, if you get small businesses are able to spend more money, and you get consumers and your everyday consumers are able to spend more money, with already a decently strong GDP, like, we haven't had like a negative GDP in the last like couple quarters. Like, I don't see any sign of anything of sort of recession, but yet everyone's calling for one. And I was even talking about this in 2022, where I was like, I think I put out a tweet and I was like, what's funny is like I haven't been around long. I was like, but like this, if we're gonna have a recession, this is gonna be the most called and hindsight. Like, everyone knows this recession's coming. Like, and that's never ever happened in history. No one ever sees recessions coming. You know what I mean? But so many people are calling for it. I was like, this is like, what are the odds? Like, everybody knows a recession's coming. Infinite, right, it's coming right around the corner, and like everyone's ready for it. Like, that's not how it works. When these recessions happen, you get years and years of this froth before anything just finally starts to break. So these doomers, are usually right, but it takes years for them to be right. In between that and then being right, the market is going to continue to churn higher. You're going to see people go farther and farther down the risk curve because they're making so much money in the stock market and they have house money to gamble with. And that's when they start, gambling on the lower stocks, gambling on crypto. And that's the liquidity that we see in these cycles with crypto. Liquidity comes. You'll know when liquidity's here in crypto. There has been zero liquidity in crypto. That's why these alts have been bleeding or going sideways. And that's why Bitcoin's just kind of been chopping, because it had some sort of liquidity from the ETFs, and there's a little more demand for it. But when liquidity's here in these crypto markets, you'll know, because alts are going to be popping off every day.
That's what I've said too, Louis, is like people, we had a mini altcoin test pump, but we haven't seen alt season, and we've been here for a long time, right? And I'm exhausted and you're exhausted. Everybody in the comments, you guys are exhausted. How could you not be, right? I didn't expect Bitcoin to range for 6 months. We were on track for an expedited cycle, and we perfectly kind of synced up with previous cycles, right?
Yeah.
But we haven't seen an alt season yet. We had a test alt season.
which we did in 2018 as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously that's not what we wanted, right? Obviously we're like, well, you know, it's gonna be a quicker cycle. But that 6 months of correction we got, you know, kind of caught us up to our regular cycle. And then now, you know, the Russell's here. Like the Russell's right back where it was in 2020. Like I'm pretty sure it's 2020. I don't have to look. Yeah,
Can you do
September
me a favor,
2020.
Louis, with your Russell chart? So that
Yes.
all-time high distribution, the bottom side of it, the underside of that. Yeah. Can you draw a horizontal line right there? Okay. Maybe even drag it down a little bit to like the bottom of it, right? Right there. In my opinion, you are now back inside of your previous all-time high distribution.
Yep.
That is 9 times out of 10 a very, very bullish signal. You get a little rejection, and then you finally pop through it.
Especially with all this. Like
That's a base, man.
this is accumulation. This is how whales
Mhm.
accumulate. This is textbook. This is textbook Wyckoff, whatever you want to call it. This is pure accumulation. If we just came down and we V recovered and was like kind of chopping here, which we did during COVID, by the way, I'd be a little more skeptical. But we did spend 600 days down here. Like, you think we spent 600 days down here just to do this and flip and just fall back over? Not when we're going into a rate cutting cycle where these businesses are going to be way more profitable and have way more, profit margins, have way more cash on hand. Like, this is where we're going. We're following a very similar cycle. So I feel like, you know, people look at, like, they cherry pick, like you say, they're cherry picking data points, but you got to put everything together. You got to use your context and you got to use a little common sense. And then you got to be able to have the gonads to put your money where your mouth is and say, I'm bullish, burn the boats, and let's
Yeah.
send this stuff. That's the hardest part. Anyone could draw a line on a chart. It's about knowing where we are in the cycle and saying, this is my money. I'm putting my balls on the line, and let's make some money. You know what I mean? And I know where my risk is, and I'll cut it if we hit a certain point. Okay, I was wrong. I take my beating, and I live to fight another day. But I mean, if you're not bulled up right now, I don't know what you're doing. I really don't. Like, what else are you gonna do?
Louis, let's
Scalp
pull up
short?
let's pull up Bitcoin. Let's pull up a little Bitcoin chart.
Getting fired
Because
up.
boys,
Wow, we are pumping.
we're pumping.
Oh yeah.
So we were talking about that 58.4 level. And it seems as though unless we swing fail this, we're looking pretty good.
Yeah. This looks great. I said this morning, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if we pop that level, because just the way the markets looked this morning. Yeah, no, this is great. Let's look on the daily. I still think 60.5K is our key. Because just how, like, the 58K level, we have a lot of touches. It's the same thing at the 60.7, 60.5K level. You see all these touches here. So I could see us ranging between 58 and 60.5, but I know once back above 60.5K, I think we come for all this untapped liquidity here. But going back to what I was saying, like this is a very big level of doing business, buying and selling. Above it, you're bullish. Below it, you're bearish. It's very clear. Back above 60.5, we're coming for all of this. This is all untapped liquidity. And because it's all untapped, there's billions of dollars of liquidity at these highs that we never tagged once. We kind of left it there, which is probably done by design, because once we get back up there and these guys start having to close their shorts, start getting liquidated, that's going to squeeze us to 80K. Like, there's so much liquidity up there. It's ridiculous. Like, that's going to be our fuel that, like, everyone turns around and says, wait, Bitcoin's at 70K, at 75, 80K. Like, what's going on? It was at 56K a couple weeks ago, last time I checked. And that's when the FOMO kicks in. And they go, oh, well, I missed the Bitcoin move. What are these altcoins? What can I buy that's cheaper that hasn't ran yet? And then the cycle begins. Then the cycle begins down the risk curve, down the beta trade. We're so close. I'm so fired up, Max. I'm so fired up because I feel it. I feel it.
We've been
right
taking
there.
body shots, Louis, but I'm fired
yeah.
up too, man. I'm fired up too.
Yeah.
And what I love the most is our Discord will remember this, right? Because we do these calls with our Discord twice a day. And on Friday, let's go to the daily. I came into the Discord and I was sharing my chart. And I said, guys, look, if you're a billionaire and you're here listening, I need you to say, this was last Friday right here. This drop right here was last Friday. I was feeling a little bit nervous. And I said to our Discord, if you're a billionaire, you need to save it right here. This is it. This is your range right here. You need to save it, right? Because what we really need to do is we needed to save structure, right? So let's just draw out our downtrend, right? High, low. We'll just call this one high, low, high, low. What we need right here, what we needed, and I feel like now you can say we've got it, is we needed to form our first higher time frame, higher low. It's really, really simple. We have been downtrending for 6 months. Here's your downtrend. It's been brutal. It's been painful. I have not been an enjoyer of the bleed, right? This is your downtrend. This is huge because of what it potentially means. Because what we really need to do right now on the higher time frames, like you could maybe call this, your level, where if you break this, then you're in like a little more local uptrend, right? We could maybe draw something like this. I would be willing to say locally you need that, but really what you need is on the highest of time frames, you need this. Okay. What you really need is you need to blast through this mid range. I want to see, 66, 67. Then I want to see your mid range get retested, then Q4, right? Because then you got a whole different type of discussion where you are now weekly time frame uptrending, right?
Yep.
Now you're weekly time frame uptrending. So this is a very, very significant, I would say almost damn near confirmed shift of market structure. Almost. We're getting so close. But what I really love the most about this is our 2024 profile. All right. Our 2024 profile. I don't know why it didn't save up here.
Bears had 3 chances to push us past that level, and they couldn't. They got once on a wick. They tried 3 times, and they failed. And the Bulls have been lurking. It's time.
Yeah, it really is. And this is what I love the most about this profile right here. So this is your 2024. This is your 2024 profile right here. What I love the most about it is Bitcoin. This drop right here was first week of July. We'll just mark it in blue. First week of July.
4th of July. Remember that.
Yes. First week of August. First week of September. And what you had was basically in every month of Q3, you had statistical outlier sell volume, capitulatory sell volume coming into all 3 of these bear traps, all throughout the first week of every month of Q3, right? And here, I'll put these on here. Turn the small ones off. I mean, look at this damn chart, man. Actually, I'm gonna do it the right way. We're gonna use this indicator. I love this. I tweeted this out. You guys probably saw this. But what I'm most encouraged by is this crazy sell volume that we had. Capitulatory sell volume on each of these candles. It's the opposite of, what we make fun of some of the breakout traders for, Oh, you're buying into like froth and excess. Oh, and then they get tossed around. What we saw was bears getting really greedy at these 3 levels. These blue dots right here. I can remove these. right here. Look at that sell volume that we had on these 3 drops. Shorts got greedy. They were trying to force the breakdown. Where did Louis go? Did we lose Louis? I think we lost Louis. We lost Louis. But what I'm most encouraged by is that we held exactly where we needed to hold. All right, we got Louis back.
I'm back.
We held exactly where we needed to hold. In this 2024 volume profile, which is all of the transacting that has occurred, we've held our value area low. Not once, not twice, but 3 times with measurable. Again, there's nothing subjective about this. Measurable, verifiable outlier, statistical outlier sell volume basically into your biggest level. Bears, you have 3 chances if you were bearish. 1, 2, 3. You had the first week of every month of Q3. I don't really know what you can do but be bullish.
What is that? An indicator you have on there for volume down there on the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I would say it's a lot of selling, but it's also a lot of buying. Like those sells got met with a lot of buying, which is why it pushed up every single time. I don't know how that indicator works, but just reading a volume profile, just normal volume, it was a lot of buying as well down there. And that's why Bears. I mean, the Bears got rejected 3 times, like we were saying, or else that level wouldn't have helped.
We got a super chat here. Yeah, just send a DM to the BB account, and somebody will see it, or send me one personally. Thank you for the super chat. I think we also had another super chat here.
Yeah, in the Discord. That's the best way to reach us as well.
To the moon 806. FOMC meetings acts as local bottoms and tops track it throughout history.
100%.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, these are some epic bear traps right here, guys. These are some serious bear traps. Like, I don't even. Go ahead.
It's just by design. You know what I mean? Like this is the toughest part of the cycle. To hang around. Like they're not going to make it easy for you just to buy crypto at the lows. Before what we think is what's coming is a massive run for crypto. Bitcoin and altcoins. They're not going to make it easy. They're going to test your conviction multiple times. And that's just the whales accumulating. This is how they accumulate large quantities of assets. They need to generate buying and selling multiple times to get their entries. They can't just do $1 billion buy order. They have to buy a lot, run it up, create FOMO, sell it, run it back down, buy more, run it up, sell less, run it down a little bit more, and then buy again to get their entry. And that's just how they do business. Read any technical analysis and then stock market textbook, and you'll know that this is how it's done. That's why these like Wyckoff somatics, and stuff like that, or like just a simple consolidation pattern. This is just a giant bull flag, in my opinion. Everyone's arguing about, no, it's not a bull flag. It's a cone, or it's this or that. It doesn't matter. It's a consolidation and reaccumulation pattern before a continuation in a macro uptrend. Like zoom out on that chart, Max. Like we're in an uptrend. Like the major trend is up. This is an intermediary move in a larger trend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, we got to think bullish until that changes.
Yeah, 100%. And what's so interesting about this is it's the timing of all of it, right? Where Bitcoin loves to do this here, and this is my favorite one, right? This is my favorite one. If we look at Nvidia, before it went on its parabolic rally, it consolidated for like 200 days before that. Let me pull up the Bitcoin one now.
Yep. Yeah, I love this comparison.
which chart did I use? I think it was, I have so many different Bitcoin charts saved. I got to find the right one. Here we go. Perfect.
Stop spamming the chat, bro.
Who's spamming? Who's spamming?
Some guy.
Some guy. Some wise
Also,
guy.
guys, the likes better be pumping today. We're pumping. Everything's pumping. Those likes better be over 250 soon. I'm gonna check soon. So.
Oh no. Oh
we got to
no.
get people in there. We got to spread the good word.
Don't make me
Are we not
soybeans.
even
Oh
close to
my
that?
gosh, what is this guy doing? Dude, what is going on? Dude, this guy, that is peak clownery,
Whoa,
man.
whoa. Yeah, get him out. Can you
He's
just
on Twitter, man. Now I
give him
gotta
the
go
hammer?
find him on Twitter. Oh God. There's always one guy, you know. There's always. All right, whatever. Just stop yammering in the comments, man. Don't do all that. Don't do all that. Yeah, this is my favorite comparison, man, because we know that historically Nvidia actually leads Bitcoin. Let's see if we can even pull this up here. Let's see here. All right, let's put up the Bitcoin Nvidia pair. All right. And we'll talk about it. Okay. Here is the Bitcoin Nvidia pair. Down below these two fractals right here. All right. What you can see here is that, and this goes way back, right? But what you can see is this chart is showing you something, right? This is when you basically buy Bitcoin and you wait, and then Bitcoin outperforms Nvidia here and here and here and here. This pair seems bottomed as ever to me. It really does. And I think you probably start doing something like this, right? And that would tell me that we are, in fact, within our fractal somewhere right around here. You had your final bear trap. You had everybody wanting your giant breakdown, 200 days, 207 days, whatever it is. And we're about to basically see this chart move up into here, the Bitcoin Nvidia pair. It's really simple. It's really simple.
Yeah. And just going back to what I was just saying about the reaccumulation, like look at what happened before Nvidia went on this massive run, like in that gray box there. Like, what do you think was going on there? Insiders and whales were accumulating the crap out of it. And shaking out the weak hands before going on a massive run there. Like that's just how markets work. You got to be able to survive those. You got to be able to have patience and conviction to survive those moves. Because I guarantee you, if you were an Nvidia investor back then in that gray box, I guarantee you were questioning yourself. Like, are we about to top? Are we topped? Are we going to nuke? Like, what's going to happen? What's the macro looking like? Are interest rates going to nuke us? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's always looking for a reason to get bearish. You know, when we're bullish, you're not going to be thinking about any of that. Trust me. But, it's just how it's done. You need these accumulation phases for, at the end of the day, we need big people with bigger wallets to push the assets higher, and this is how they accumulate. I love this comparison because it's so clear,
It's so clear. It's like, why would you think that the bear market and the reaccumulation would play, but then the bull market wouldn't play? Right. And I want to show this too. So let's remove the drawings here, and we're just going to pull up the NASDAQ. Okay. And I want to show you, actually, I'm going to keep this up here because the difference with the fractals, we've got 200 days wasted, right? So Bitcoin did this and Nvidia just went up. And now we're saying that 200 days has gone by and Bitcoin's going to go up. If you look historically, Nvidia looks pretty good here, honestly. If you look, or the NASDAQ does, if you look at the patterns, actually, let me do this instead. Let's do this. Let's pull up the NASDAQ right here. So NASDAQ, we'll put it down below. We're going to mark out when the NASDAQ has gone into price discovery versus Bitcoin. And I'm going to remove this fractal just for now. Okay. So here's Bitcoin. Here's the NASDAQ. We'll put both in logs so you can very easily see it. And we'll draw out the all-time highs. Okay. So there's the Bitcoin previous all-time high. There's another Bitcoin all-time high. And the last Bitcoin all-time high. Let's mark out when the NASDAQ has also gone into price discovery. Doesn't quite have as, pronounced of a bear market, obviously. NASDAQ just goes up forever, apparently.
Yeah.
But now let's move the NASDAQ up so we got a little bit more room to work with. All right. So here's the NASDAQ. And then here's Bitcoin up top. All right. So NASDAQ, we'll just put it in a different color. We'll put the NASDAQ in purple. All right. So everybody can see it. And then Bitcoin is the top one. Let's mark out when the NASDAQ has gone into price discovery. 2016, the NASDAQ, was in a little bear market chop. Bitcoin was obviously deep in the belly of the bear market. NASDAQ goes into price discovery here. We'll put it in purple. And we're just going to go through and mark out when the NASDAQ has gone into price discovery with purple lines. Okay. And I'm not being super precise, but you get the point. All right. And then just recently, NASDAQ went into price discovery here. All right. So why are we doing this? Now let's mark out when Bitcoin has gone into price discovery. I would say arguably that was like real price discovery, not a little wick, but like real price discovery. Previous cycle right there. And this current cycle, we haven't yet. All right. So what do we know about the previous two cycles? In 2016, 2017, the NASDAQ led Bitcoin into price discovery by 250 days. In 2020, 190 days. Again, I'm rounding a little bit, but you get the point. And right now, we're at 238 days. Could it be over here in October? Could it be later this month? No, no one really knows, right? But the point being is that the NASDAQ leads Bitcoin into price discovery by a little bit, by under a year, right? We're at right now 238 days. We don't know where it's going to be. We do not know where it's going to be. But the beauty of this chart, what I'm trying to show is that when you look at, and I'm going to add them both up here now. So still have Bitcoin up top, NASDAQ down below. And let's put Bitcoin USD right up here. We'll remove this. Actually, Bitcoin USD, we got to put the index up. Now let's put up the Nvidia comparison. So this fractal makes even more sense when you contextualize it with what the NASDAQ is doing. Nvidia being one of the largest companies in the world and in the NASDAQ. Bitcoin wasted its 200 days right here while Nvidia just went up. Well, what do you know? The NASDAQ leads Bitcoin by, a couple hundred days into price discovery on average. So it makes perfect sense that we wasted this 200 days here for Bitcoin and we didn't for Nvidia. But now is when you start to see that catch up. Now is when you start to see Bitcoin begin to catch up dramatically to what the NASDAQ is doing and what Nvidia is doing. And it's going to put in this next leg of up, just like Nvidia did. Here's all of the proof. Bitcoin, NASDAQ, Nvidia fractal. Well, why are we not on track? We lagged by 200 days. Why do we lag by 200 days? Bitcoin lags the NASDAQ by roughly 200 days before it goes into price discovery. What are we talking about? There you go.
It's trickle-down effect.
It's the same thing every time,
And that's the thing. Like you could, if you told people, guess what, guys? The same thing's gonna happen about every 4 years. All you got to do is just put your money in at the lows and just ride it out for the couple years you have to. And people are like, oh yeah, like that sounds so easy money. Less than 5% of people can do it. Why? Emotions, short time frame, like short time horizons, day-to-day chop, listening to macro people, fear, like it's very cyclical. When you're in it, it doesn't feel like it. But on looking out and in hindsight and zooming out and looking at the data, it's all the same. It's not. It's the spirit of the move, like Max always likes to say. You know what I mean? It's not always going to be exactly the same. Like this 6-month consolidation we got on Bitcoin, we've never seen something like this in the middle of a bull market. And don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. This is probably one of the hardest, time frames, of crypto that I've experienced in the last 6 years. Just how it went down. But we're still historically right on track for a Bitcoin cycle. You know what I mean? So it's very cyclical, guys. You just gotta block out the noise and increase your time horizons, and just you gotta keep that conviction. Don't let you see a couple doom posts on Twitter sway you one way or the other. Don't let us sway you. Do your own homework. You know,
You
do
should
your
let
own
Louis
homework,
sway you. You should let Louis
or
sway
let me
you, though.
sway you. That's
Louis
fine.
pretty good. You should let him sway you.
We gonna ride. We gonna ride.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, is it's only very late in the cycle do you ever have unanimous consensus across the board that we are going to go up and we're going to go up forever, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't expect everybody to be in agreement right now. I
Yeah.
wouldn't. No question. I would not expect that. That will come much later. Like there will be a point in time later on when people, even me, even Louis, especially Tucker, are going to be like,
Actually,
this really is the super cycle. We
yeah.
may never go back down.
Yep.
I remember that. I remember drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit, like the Suzu super cycle. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like this, was he a multi-decabillionaire, at his peak? This multi-decabillionaire is telling me that like we're never gonna go back down, and like he's just shoving AVAX, and he's shoving Luna or whatever.
100K was programmed. Everyone thought it was 100K
Pomp
was
was
coming.
selling 100K hats. Louis, you remember that?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, wow, these guys that have been around for, decades, trading crypto, like since inception, basically, are telling me this is a super cycle. You've got NFL players taking their contracts in Bitcoin, you know?
Yep.
I mean, that's real froth and excess. Iggy Azalea launching a freaking token and Jason Derulo rugging a shitcoin is not peak froth. That was like interim local PvP
Yeah, your
froth.
intermediate move, your intermediate top for sure. And
Yeah.
it kind of frustrates me that like I saw that happen and I didn't take enough action. I mean, we're human. You get caught up. FOMO is way stronger than fear. I was saying this last week on Discord.
Yeah.
FOMO is way stronger than fear because when things are good, you're not going to see a bear in sight, and everyone's just going to be like, okay, what else can I buy? What else can I buy to outperform this bag? You're not going to be thinking, are we going to crash next week? Like,
No, it's not
what's the
even
downside
you're not even
risk?
thinking about it.
Yeah. So when you start seeing that, when you start seeing less and less bears, people less worried about risk, more talk about super cycles, that's when you get cautious. Not when everyone else is cautious. When everyone's cautious, you bid. You blindly bid. Historically, that's proven great.
It is. And one other thing that I wanna do just as like a cycle comparison is whether Bitcoin is digital gold or not, we're gonna find out sooner rather than later, right? Like we're gonna figure that out. But what I want to
Oh,
talk about is
we got
what happened. I'm gonna remove all this now. Hopefully you guys got that all good to go. But what I want to talk about is Bitcoin versus gold. Okay. What's the gold ETF ticker, Louis? It's GLD, right? Is that it? Yeah, this is it. Okay. So what I want to talk about is this move right here. You can see I have a drawing up. I think I tweeted something about it a little while ago. Okay. Now it's never going to be perfect, right? But the point of me showing this is to say, what if Bitcoin is in fact digital gold, right? What if Bitcoin is in fact digital gold? And I'm going to expand on this a little bit. Let me dress the chart up just a little bit here. All right. So let's make it nice and pretty, because if we're going to do it, we should do it the right way. Bitcoin 2024, and we'll make it orange. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw up the Fed funds rate. All right. I'm going to put them on both. Notice what happened to gold here when they started cutting rates. And this was, and here, actually, let me do this. Let me throw up a Bitcoin ETF ticker. That will be better. Okay, that will be even better. Let's see, be stocks. I have them all saved down at the bottom. What's one that I like? Yeah, that's the same thing. Whatever. Okay. So this was gold when we finally got an ETF. And this is Bitcoin when we finally got an ETF. Can you see some similarities in this? Right? Here's the effective federal funds rate. So what you can see very clearly is that at this time as well, when we got the gold ETF, we were in a pause, just like we are right now. And look at what happened to gold right after we got the gold ETF. Here, now I got to mark this back up. It's got to be pretty. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way.
I'm checking likes, guys.
Oh, no. It's back up. Bitcoin 2024. How are we doing on likes, Louis?
I see they're panic liking. We're at 208.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'll
give them
250. Give me 250.
So we're about to get our cut right now. We're about to get our cut. And I just can't help but think that they're literally just going to run back here. They're just basically going to run back the gold ETF playbook, right? And BlackRock has come out being like, yeah, Bitcoin could be a hedge against, economic uncertainty and, people being uncomfortable with the political landscape, right? They just said that recently. And then I look at a chart like this and I go, huh, what did gold do right when we got our first cut in 2007? Could Bitcoin be doing the same thing? Could Bitcoin be doing the same thing? Would it be that surprising? I mean, you pump right off the listing. Let's throw a little something up here. It's going to take a little bit of massaging here. Oh, it's going to take so much massaging. All right, we're just going to leave it at that. I don't want to spend the whole time doing a fractal, okay? Could we be doing the gold fractal, right, where you pump off the first cut? I think it's possible. What do you think, Louis?
I think it's very possible. I mean, Bitcoin at the end of the day, it's gonna be correlated to the assets, but it is similar to gold. I mean, it is a commodity in that it's digital gold, digital commodity. And yeah. Oh, so where are the people with the rate cuts? Oh, it's bearish. Well, they're not looking at this. They're not looking at this because this obviously looks bullish on rate cuts for gold. And it looks like BlackRock is just running this playbook, like you said.
Yeah.
Similar to ETH. Like I think ETH is running the Bitcoin ETF playbook where, ETH, Bitcoin's ETF launched. We dropped 15 to 20%, lost our local range. Bears came out in droves saying it's over. And then we pumped 80% to the upside. And I think that's what's happening with ETH. ETF launches. We have our 20% drop. We lose our local range. Bears are out in droves. ETH is dead. ETH's dead. Like, come on. And then now we go. And now you reclaim the range and go. Obviously, it's more intricate than that. There's grayscale and all that. But I think it's the same playbook, and that's what these guys do. They take things from history and they run it back. Like BlackRock, like you think they're buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin just for this to be the local top? Come on, no, they're shaking all out the weak hands and accumulating their billions of dollars worth, and then they run it up, and then they'll trap in people later on and use them as exit liquidity with FOMO.
100%.
What they
And
do.
Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Greatly appreciate it. Great content from you all as usual. Learned a lot more about the charts watching all the time. Thank you so much. Do you have an extensive course or anything? We do. Yeah, it's it should be a link in the description below. It's the second link to the BB Academy. There's one that is 100% free that I made, and then there's also a paid one that goes in a lot deeper. So if you want to check that out, that is the second link in the description below. I will say it is absolutely an epic course. It should give you all of the tools necessary. Everybody on the BB team pitched in. It took us like 5 or 6 months. So yeah, we do have an extensive course there. It is the second link in the description below. So try out the free one. You'll learn how to get your charts looking nice and pretty like I have right here. And then if you want to sign up for the mother load, it's expensive, but it's worth it. And additionally, there's a little Easter egg in the free one if you watch that one first. So listen closely. You might get a little discount. But all right, enough of this. This looks good. What are we doing here? What are we? Oh man, the Russell is just chatting, man. Just chatting. Look at that thing. Dear God.
It's time.
Oh wow, yeah, we look good, man, across the board. We're starting to look pretty frothy, Louis. ETH holding right where it needed to.
Yeah, it's running that Bitcoin playbook, that Bitcoin ETF playbook. I mean, it's got some work to do. Don't get me wrong. It's got a lot of work to do. But so like 2,800, I think is a key level. We got to get back above 2,900. But I'm pretty much convinced that Friday, on September 6th was the low for ETH.
So Louis, what would you do if I told you that this was the second week of September in 2020? And this is where we're at right now. What would you do if I told you that we were at that same point retesting our bear market reaccumulation range high for ETH?
Yep.
And this was September 12th of 2020. And right here is September 13th. And we're retesting that same bear market reaccumulation range high. What would you do if I showed you this chart, Louis?
Full shove.
How would you feel knowing that we're at the exact same spot that we were in the very end of Q3 2020 before ETH went from $350 to almost 5,000? How would you feel, Louis?
I'd feel great because I felt great then because I was buying ETH in that bear market. And that's the funny thing is like we're coming into a massive like bear market support. Like we spent almost a year down there building that base out on ETH, and we were coming right into that level. And like that's when people flip bearish. Like you're flipping bearish into the most massive support we have on the chart. Like you don't put those bases there for no reason. They're market structure. And like the old saying, the bigger the base, the higher in the space. And we're at that level. We got a pump out of there. Now we're retesting. I mean, look at the confluence. I mean, I love it. It matches out to what I like, how I feel of where we are in the cycle. That's what the chart looks like, right in front of us. So, I mean, that's why I'm getting excited here, guys. The good times are coming. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. It's been a tough road, 100%. Even if you were here early, like, I've been here all bear market, and I'm still feeling it. We all are. But, with that, if you lasted this long, congrats, because there is a light at the end of this tunnel. And if you're still here, you are here well before any retail investors are. And you're going to perform way better than them.
This is when retail comes right here.
Yep.
This is when retail comes. This
Yep.
they buy here and then they sell right in here.
Yeah.
And then they lose money.
When you're
That's when they
telling them
come.
at the top, like, oh no, like the top's in, they're gonna be like, what are you talking about? Like all of a sudden they're geniuses because they bought something later on in the cycle and it went up, and now they're all geniuses. Like you're gonna see so many gurus. Like Twitter's a ghost town right now. Like
Yeah, it
peak
is.
bull market, there's gonna be so many gurus out there. TikTok, all the guys, they're all gonna be out trying to sell courses or tell you the next coin. We'll probably be blowing up. BB is probably going to be blowing up, but in a good way, obviously. Like our
We'll be
audience
smashing.
size.
We'll be smashing through topside fibs, Louis.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy, but and that's when we get to that frothiness. You guys will know.
Look at this
But
comment, Louis. This is so nice. I love to see this, man, because during times like this,
yeah,
things get boring and work
yeah,
gets tough. We feel it too. But Skeeter, thank you so much for the comment. He says, last cycle I was getting info from pump dumpers. This cycle, the BB team is my compass, and there is zero comparison between the two. BB team is great, full of education and knowledge to help all of us navigate these markets. I can't thank y'all enough. Thank you so much for that comment, and thanks for tuning in, man.
yes.
We started this thing a couple years ago in the bear market, and it's been a lot of bad times, a lot of good times, right? I mean, we started this thing literally in free fall, and we built a base, and thank God that we survived, But I love teaching, and I love collaborating and talking with people, and that's what fills my cup up. We'll make
Yeah.
money, we'll be on the right side of this thing, but helping people stay away from the literal scammers, like literally just paid shill scammers, is those guys need to get the fuck out of here. But anyways, what I find so interesting about this bear market retest as well is that in September, right before things went crazy, we didn't come back to sweep that low. So on the bear market retest that we had in 2020 before we went literally nuts, look at that study, literally study that. We came back, didn't sweep that low, right on top of the bear market reaccumulation must hold spot. Let's go forward. What are we doing right
Oof.
now? Same spot. Look at the gray box.
So
That's your bear market must hold. Can't re-enter the bear market range high. We didn't come back to sweep the low. Oh my.
a lot of
Like,
people got front man.
what are we talking about here?
This
Can
goes
you
back to what
really argue that it's different? I don't think you can. I just don't think you can argue that it's different when it's literally the same. Look at that.
it's crazy.
It's crazy. The only difference is we got a little bit overextended here. And I think that was
Yeah,
because of the Bitcoin ETF, right? Bitcoin
exactly.
got out of the gates a little quick. It dragged the whole market up a little quick. We got kind of like a mini cycle within the cycle where you saw the celebrity grifters coming and all that, all that garbage, right? But really, if you remove that, we're at the same spot. We're at the same spot. Like, what if we do this? What if we do this? What why would we not do this? You know what I mean? Like, and everybody's like, oh, it's a crazy target. What, how could you say we're gonna go up that high? Okay, well, let's talk about it. Right? And by the way, I love the ETH FUD. I love that people are fudding ETH right now because I remember them doing it last cycle, and I had a bunch of ETH and I was terrified. I was like, oh damn, all these like really smart Bitcoin guys are telling me my ETH is going to go to zero and it's never going to pump again, and then it literally pumped harder the rest of the cycle. So I'm just saying I like that. Okay, here's Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin last cycle. Let's remove all these drawings. Trading views lagging a little. Forgive me. Okay, so let's take a look at what Bitcoin did last cycle. Bitcoin went from 3,800 to 64,000 in 400 days. Okay. Nice move, right? Nice move. And then from cycle top to, we'll just say the first cycle top, Bitcoin went up 230% more. Okay. So ETH, and I don't even need this one, right? I don't even need this one. Bitcoin went up 227% higher than the previous cycle, all-time high last cycle.
Yep.
Do you really think that ETH couldn't do something comparable?
With an ETF?
What's 227%?
What, 15K?
16K?
16K?
I mean, I just wonder, like, people, because the bear market's been so tough and this chop has been so tough, people forget that, like, Bitcoin went from literally 4K to 64K in 400 days and went 230% above its previous cycle all-time high. And you're telling me that it's impossible for, like, you think that 10K is unattainable for ETH, you know? That's what
Double?
people have said to me. Oh, maybe 5K, maybe 6K at best, you know? Why? Why?
Where do they get that from?
Why?
That's
Why would you
a
say
feeling
that?
because the market's bad? Like, you're going off your feeling because the market's bad? Yeah, it's by design.
When we were in a damn global pandemic with the economy shut down, the only thing keeping it afloat was money printing and debt. Bitcoin went up 15x in 400 days.
There's people in the comments saying 7K at best. Sorry, pal.
Well, see,
Where do
that's
you
what
get
I
that
mean. I'm
number
like,
from?
why is that the case? You know?
Tell me why.
Why? I don't understand why people don't think it's possible.
Chimp phone. Take it easy.
Dude, Chimp's a menace. Chimp is a menace,
Unsubscribe.
man. He's a comment section terrorist, is what he is.
But yeah, I mean, and what was the market cap of Bitcoin from that level? I bet it was probably still higher than what ETH was, and it still did 230%.
So Bitcoin last cycle was at about 300. The previous cycle high was 330 billion. And
Because that's the
ETH,
best way to look at it, is the market cap, in my opinion.
yeah. And ETH, previous cycle, was at 575. So slightly higher. Slightly
Okay.
higher.
So 10 to 15K. I mean, that's still doable.
What was the all-time high? 1.2 to 1.3 trillion? Like right up in here? If it does what Bitcoin did last cycle?
Yeah.
I still think that 1.618 is going to get tagged up there. I really do.
So this guy's argument is that you've added so many alts, so the returns won't be as big for the blue chips. I could understand where you get that thought process from. It does make sense. My argument would be, okay, but we have an ETH ETF. Like, the big money is coming for ETH first. It's coming for ETH, and then it'll trickle down to those riskier assets.
And to buy a lot of these shit coins, you need to buy your L1 first.
Yeah, you got to buy ETH. You got to trade on chain. That's when you'll see your $250 gas fees.
Yeah.
Another
I'm
top
just saying,
signal.
like, this is going to be this is your all-time high slot right here. Right up in here. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And below that, we'll just put ETH priced normally.
And that's data driven. You know what I mean? It's not like we're just pulling it out of our arses, you know?
That would be for ETH. The top up here is 14. And then this would be what percent below that? 14 minus 25. So it would be, yeah, basically like 11K to 11K to 14K. So this is right here by market cap, 11K to 14K. I mean, that's, I don't know. I just feel like people are so damn scarred by this chop, and I don't blame them. Like, it's been brutal.
Yeah.
That they've forgotten how crazy things can get so damn quick.
I would agree, and I would think a lot of people are going to sell way too early because of that.
For
The second
sure.
they start to see, because it's just been nothing but red bleeding of their money. Like the second we start getting pops, you know, they're going to be like, oh, well, this is probably going to get, you know, round tripped, just like every other pop we've basically seen for the past 6 months. And like you said, I don't blame them for doing that. I mean, profit's profit, but this is the season where it goes where you're at. I sold too early season. That's kind of going to be the theme, because people are so conditioned to just, you know, all these pops and all these run ups just getting like round tripped. Right when we get to the point of the cycle where these runs keep on, they're going to run like I mean, it's hard. It's like not everyone was here for the 2021. Like it was crazy.
It was
Like thinking
crazy.
back, like,
And I'm
and
pretty
the
sure
market
this is
cap
where
valuation.
ETH BTC is right now. Like it's doing this, it's kind of doing
I
this
mean,
bleed right
yep,
here.
I'm looking at the RSI too, and it looks like, you know, the RSI on the daily for ETH BTC, we're starting to see bull divs on the daily, and it kind of has that look where it looks like it's going to rip faces off, like it's going to rip the bears' faces off. It has that ugly look to it.
Let's take a look at ETH BTC. Well, our weekly demand didn't hold.
Yeah, I had that level too.
Let's see here, April has the halving right there. Okay. So here's ETH BTC with the Bitcoin halvings marked out. I think you're getting real close. Like this. Like right here. This feels like your spot to me. And, you know, post Bitcoin halving, I'll make these lines a little thicker so everybody can see them. Not uncommon to see this, again, although it sucks, after a Bitcoin halving. Look over here in 2016. ETH BTC nuked, then went crazy. Third Bitcoin halving, we pumped just like we did over here right after the Bitcoin halving. See, you move up and then you nuke, right? And then you go crazy. So all I'm saying is like, yeah, we're bleeding. Does it really matter too much? Because it's kind of what always happens, right? If you buy ETH BTC in Q4, let's mark out Q4. All right. So here is here's basically Q4. Okay. Here's Q4.
Boys.
Oh, boys.
Oh, big time.
We
Oh,
are pumping.
we are pumping.
He had to come for the
Oh
pump.
man, I just got back from a doctor's appointment. I checked price and I was like, "Oh boy, I better hop on. I better hop
Yeah.
on immediately."
Did you get diagnosed with being too bullish?
Yeah. I'm gonna have surgery for it, actually. Oh man, this is
Okay, these are
wonderful.
Q4s post Bitcoin halving years. Okay, so let's look at right here. So we've got the Bitcoin halvings marked out, and then we've got Q4 after the Bitcoin halving year. All I'm saying is you're getting real close to that time when historically you want to shove ETH BTC, despite how bad the chart looks, Q4 of the halving year, you shove ETH BTC. That's what history tells us.
Yes. Yes,
There
yes,
you
yes.
have it.
Because it pumps in Q1, right? It pumps in Q1, but Q4 is yes when you should be shoving it. I mean, have we looked at some altcoins today, guys? Because I
I was
mean,
gonna do some altcoin
dude.
requests and hit my 250 number, but we haven't yet.
Oh, you're looking
Oh,
for
we
250? What are they at?
I want 275. We're at
Oh,
255.
he's moving the goalposts on them.
Because I didn't even get to say it because I wanted to say it, but if we get to 275, we'll do some altcoin requests as long as they're large enough. No micro caps. Just give us some.
All right, you're at
sizable
257. 257. Louis.
Altcoins. Start with Doge. I've been seeing a lot of people saying Doge. Is Doge pumping? I'm sure it is, but
Guys, I must call attention to this from yesterday. Oh man. Maybe let me shrink this down. Let me see if I can do this and make it look good. Okay. This is literally beautiful. Window. How's that look?
That looks nice.
Boom. Okay, boom. We literally mapped this out yesterday. I was saying I think this little SVB type dip.
yep. Right to that
Bitcoin
FE.
bottom. Give it a little chop range. I mean, this has got 68 by Saturday. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it did indeed catch the spirit of the move higher. So I like what we're seeing. I like it a lot. Also, funding is negative on Binance. That's interesting to say the least, but
Higher.
yeah. Wait. Oh, guys. Oh man. I don't even remember where I had this drawn from, but
Boys, we're pumping.
It's lift off time, baby. It's lift off time.
It's time.
Oh, we should also call attention to this. Okay. September
Oh
right
my.
now
Oh
is
my.
green.
But
It's
Tucker,
green.
I thought September was supposed to be terrible.
I know. I don't know, man. Who could have
But
foreseen?
historically, we're red on the month.
Historically,
5%.
we are red in September, yes. Now, obviously, not out of the woods yet, though, Louis. Not out of the woods yet.
Big level, not out of the woods yet.
Big level. But yes, I put that tweet out on September 1st. I said September will be green with the guy standing up, which is I didn't even expect it to play out, honestly. But we'll see. We still got a couple weeks left, so yeah. Looking constructive though. I wonder if ETH is green. No, ETH is not.
Not yet.
ETH is not yet green.
Who's got a Doge chart? I see a lot of people asking for Doge.
Doge?
We're at
probably don't. Yeah, I
know
don't have
Max has
anything on
Doge.
this. I don't know what these are.
I got a chart here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I know you guys have some Doge charts.
Doge is reclaiming some key levels here.
I forgot Doge is like it's like Matic and BNB in that way, right? Where it never lost that bull market range.
Yeah, man. Doge is gonna do well, I think. Like, I don't know how well, but I'm bullish on Doge generally. I think you have to be. I'm not gonna say it'll outperform something like Pepe, obviously, but sizing into something like Doge, a little bit of exposure. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean normies will buy it on Coinbase. There is no doubt.
Every damn time they will.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, it's time to buy some Doge when Bitcoin's at like 80K.
Yep.
Pepe looks good.
Does Pepe look
5%.
good? I haven't.
I mean, it's got work to do. It's got work to do, but
Got a little work.
It bounced. It held where it needed to hold. You know. Beautiful.
It did. Yeah, I wanted to see this whole wick right here hold. Let's see. Yeah. We're looking good today, boys. We're looking good. We're looking good for the first time in a while. It's good to see.
Yeah.
It feels like a real pump for the first time in a while.
I know, it really does.
I was getting fired up before talk because I feel it. It's just I feel it in my loins.
I know. That's what it is, bro. Oh my God. Jeez, man. The IWM bull chop should not be faded either.
No.
I mean that ends that way.
Yeah, I was marking that out earlier. Said like how it was to the left in 2020. Yep.
Yeah, you didn't really have this move, right? But still. Yep. What else? Everything else looks okay. Yeah.
Everything just looks good, man.
Yeah. What about others in total 3?
It's hard to be bearish that chart, dude. That's what I struggle with, is that people
It's made to make you feel bearish, but it's bullish.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah.
That's the design of these consolidation and pullbacks. Like they're made to test your willpower and your conviction.
Just as a general rule of thumb, it's not a great idea to get super bearish after a 60% correction in an index.
Yeah. Look right to the left. Look at that big pump, and then that was that probably another 60% correction. Yeah, look what we did after
at,
it.
like the perfect time too. You know, the perfect time at the perfect level.
I mean, you know. Yeah, that's about the same level.
Yeah.
Pepe flipping Doge this cycle, what would that entail?
That would be like 90 billion or something. No, that was Doge at the top, I guess. What's the market cap? 15 bill.
The bull market valuations are insane. Like people forget. Like things
Is this
can get
right?
great.
Is Doge really only 15 billion? That can't be.
No, that's correct.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah. I think it's. I mean, is SHIB the same? 8 bill?
Wow.
I don't know why I thought SHIB was like 15 and Doge was like 30.
That's the last time I looked. That's what it was.
Well, for a minute they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, SHIB is definitely getting flipped. I would say Doge is on the table, right? What do you need, a 5x to flip Doge? Like,
but you might as well own Pepe, you know? Like, you might as well just own Pepe. It's established.
Are we bullish on this chart?
Like, you gotta do a different one, man.
Why? This is their market caps.
You do Pepe Doge, small against big. Pepe USD divided by Doge USD.
It works both ways, though, Max. It works.
I mean, it does. It does.
I mean, I'm not really super bullish that chart, right? Like,
but I think you need more history, is what I was saying. Like,
yeah.
Here, I'll show you.
What do you do, the USDs or no? I mean, this goes back to this only goes back to March. Wow.
Here, study this.
All right, let's see. Oh yeah, use the USD pair.
Yeah, this is this is Pepe Doge. It's a little hard to justify, in my opinion, owning too much. I don't think it's bad to hold Doge, right? I just don't think you're gonna do better than Pepe, right? And you've got this little demand region right here. I would say it's probably better to just hold Pepe. You got your previous all-time high here. You've got some high time frame demand.
Mm-hmm.
You're just kind of coming into it. You're probably going to end up doing something like, this in the not too distant future. A little normie compression, right? Something like this. And it's just going to take off, right? You can't fight this pattern. So like, why would I buy a bunch of Doge if I could just shove into Pepe right here?
I know. It feels like the others chart almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're about to just see this. And then Pepe against Doge. Boom.
Can you explain to DoorDash why doing TA on pairs works?
Oh, it doesn't work at all, man. TA doesn't work. No, TA doesn't work.
No. On pairs.
No, it doesn't work, man. I would follow the macro guys. Just, don't do this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work.
Mhm.
It works because it's all a giant interconnected web. And I think a lot of people fail to recognize that. It's the same reason that we chart Ethereum against Bitcoin, to gauge performance of one asset versus another, because most smart investors or seasoned investors, what they do is they'll typically go from asset to asset, and they typically don't necessarily go cash unless they're really bearish, right? So you'll buy one asset and then swap into another asset at a discount, assuming that the pairs are somewhat correlated. So given that Pepe, or we'll start with Doge, given that Doge is really the Bitcoin of meme coins, right? Like if your meme coin is not going to outperform Doge, just hold Doge. It's going to be a lot safer, right? It's a lot safer, a lot more price history, proof of work, decentralized. It's older than ETH, right? So if your meme coin's not going to outperform Doge, just don't. But given that Pepe and Doge are both memes, they're in the same class, they're in the same genre. There's money that goes back and forth, sophisticated meme money that goes back and forth between stuff like Doge to Pepe to stuff like an Andy, right? Going further down the meme risk curve. So yeah, they're correlated, they're connected. It's a hot ball of money that goes back and forth. And you're looking at a bullish compression of the biggest meme coin in the world, Doge, paired against Pepe, which is probably going to take its spot for the king this cycle. And you're basically bull chopping, bull compressing into high time frame demand over the previous cycle all-time high. So that is why.
Can we look at Mog? We got a super chat.
Yeah, I was just I'm gonna Tommy it. I saw that and started drawing on it. I mean, broke the downtrend, held support, right? Let's put some volume on so we can actually pick a good spot for the volume profile. That's a good spot. I need to change those volume colors. There we go. Okay. I mean, yeah, you consolidated right at the point of control and are popping out of it. I would definitely expect that to get tagged. Right? I don't even know what market cap that is, but no, I think Mog looks good. I like the high time frame Mog chart though. I just I don't really have a good read on it, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't really know what to do with that. Like, I assume it's going to go higher, right? Because I expect all crypto to go higher and ETH BTC to outperform in Q1. So Mog probably goes higher. But I mean, I don't know that chart is just odd looking to me. But
It's bullish, man. It's just ETH. It's the same thing that we do with the boys club. Like if you put ETH down
yeah.
below, it's pretty clear what's happening,
Yeah, it's the same dynamic as Brett and Andy and Pepe and Mog or
Yeah.
Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wanted Brett too. I'm sure you have a Brett chart too, Max. But yeah, that was kind of your bid level. I kind of doubt you're going back. I kind of doubt it.
Wow, Bitcoin dominance is still pumping.
I think it should, and I think it'll continue to probably throughout Q4. Maybe it'll fade towards the end of Q4, but I kind of think. I mean, Q4 is usually Bitcoin season. Usually Bitcoin breakout season. So I would expect dominance to go a little bit higher than literally fall off a cliff in Q1. But
58%.
58 already. I was not.
No. I'm looking at like probably pump it to 58%, something like that. 58.5, 59.
I think you probably get like a proper retest of like these bodies at like 58.5.
Yeah.
You probably get stuffed in here.
Yeah. But which is fine because Bitcoin is going to drag up all the altcoins. And then once ETH takes the lead, then everything really starts popping off.
I mean, you could get 60 because that's like your kind of normie resistance, but what does Jackus say, man? The origination of the move started about right there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could kind of blow through this, and then people think, oh, this has been flipped. We're going up here. And then you come into the origination of the move, and you just do that. That's kind of what I would assume is going to happen.
I don't mind if Bitcoin leads the market going into price discovery. I'd actually prefer it a little bit.
Yeah.
I really would. I would prefer it.
Yeah, I think you need it. I think you need Bitcoin to lead to right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can start to rotate.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like, it's not like I'm gonna go sell memes to go get in Bitcoin to then rotate back. That's not like.
I think it's more of just a wait type of situation. Yeah.
It's like your beta is gonna get dragged up through Q4, and then in Q1 it's gonna literally explode. So, but yeah, like probably up to here, right? Like I'd probably expect dominance to spike all the way till Bitcoin taps this 1618 at like 89K.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in December or January, if I'm being honest. I think we get that. I know that might seem bold, but it's gonna happen quick once you once you break this, it's gonna happen real quick.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
I think you probably just kind of chop because there's a lot in here, right? Like there's a lot of volume that was done in here. So you're probably going to spend some time doing this in October and November, and then you're just, going to be like that. But higher at any rate. Let's see. What do you think about strictly buying altcoins at their bear market lows instead of Bitcoin to altcoin rotation? I mean, kind of what I just said, right? Like, at least at this point in the cycle, I don't think it's worth trading dominance, right? Like, I am going to fade the very tail end of this move, right? Like, I'm not going to hop on board the Bitcoin dominance train for the next 2%. Like, if you weren't already long this chart, it's not worth getting long here, in my opinion. So it's worth basically getting short, right, for, this move, right? Probably this. So patience.
I think this is where we call it. We've been going for an hour and 35 minutes.
Answer that last super chat, just because I don't even know if that was dollars. What is that? It's a different type of currency, but
I don't know what that is either. Brett,
ruble.
market cap prediction. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
Well, will it do more X's than Pepe? I mean, I guess inherently, just because it's a smaller market cap already, and if you're going to play it as beta, I guess inherently, yes, it would do more X's than Pepe. At a face value, and I'm bullish on base as well, like base tokens. So I don't have a market cap prediction. Well, I don't even know what's at now. Like, what's the market cap of Brett right now? Like one?
It's under $1 billion.
800. Yeah.
700 or 800 mil.
Yeah.
I could see anywhere from 10 to 16, 10 to 16 bill. You know, we've seen like a Matic go to 16 bill last cycle. Now is his peak. So I don't see why Brett couldn't do that. That's probably a little conservative, but
Yeah. This is the Brett Pepe pair. Brett, I mean, I think you're at least getting 10 billion, honestly. I'm sure there'll be some front running and some selling around 10 bill because it'll be $1, right? So that's a psychological level. But I would assume you probably get close. You probably get like 9 billion, sell off a little bit, and then go to like 15 to 20, honestly. So yeah, I think it has more X's in it than Pepe, but I still think Pepe is going to be a fantastic hold.
I agree. All right, guys. Time to call it. We've been going on for a while here. Guys, thanks so much for being here. As always, do us a favor on this fine Friday. Please consider liking and also subscribing to the channel if you are new here. Let's do this as well, guys. Let's do this. I'm going to share a little something with you guys right now. We're going to go through it together. All right. If you enjoyed the content today, you will love our premium content. You can navigate through the links in the bio, not in the bio, the links in the description below. Couple things. One, on our website, the BB terminal is now out, guys. It's got everything that you could need or want to succeed in these markets. It's got portfolio tracking, derivatives data, heat maps, aggr, literally everything, guys. It's fantastic. You're going to love it. Consider checking that out. Down here at the bottom is where you can actually sign up, guys. If you just want to try out the terminal, plus the Telegram alerts channel for everything that you could need or want that's going on in these markets. $97 per month, heavily discounted prices, guys. We are in beta. We're still rolling it out, but it's an awesome, awesome product, guys. So definitely check that out. All right. Sign up for the BB terminal. BB terminal. Additionally, if you want to sign up for our Discord and you want to hang out with us 24/7 on a daily basis, guys, check this out. All right. Check this out. What you could expect right now is 2.5 hours a day of private live voice calls with me, Tucker, Louie, and the entire BB team and community, guys. It's awesome. We talk about charts, setups, analysis, day by day, morning by afternoon coverage. And again, that is 2.5 hours per day. All of it is recorded, guys. All of it is recorded as well. This is if you're really if you're trying to make trading a full-time career or at least like a second full-time job, these are for you. If you just want the best resources out there, BB Terminal, guys. BB Terminal. I'll show you what it looks like. BB Terminal, you got all your indicators and stuff right here. You can link your wallets, portfolio tracking. It's great, guys. It's great. You're going to really like it. It's got a beautiful dashboard. It's fantastic. Also, check this out. Check out the BB Academy. We have 2 courses available. One, entirely free, how to make your trading view beautiful. All right, if you like my charts, I've made this for you guys. It's probably about 2 hours or so. Gives you the quick rundown, everything that you could need or want in order to navigate TradingView successfully, because I think that smoothing the data and making the data easy to digest really makes everything a lot better, right? Like, it's so difficult to navigate these markets, and I'm a visual learner, so I know a lot of people find comfort and appreciate the charts that I make. So I show you guys how I do them right here. This one's totally free. And if you want to really dive in and learn all of our most effective strategies, me, Tucker, The entire BB team, guys, we put together a master class with all of our strategies as a team. It took us about 5 or 6 months. Check this out, guys. There is no better value in crypto. If you're trying to speed run your educational journey, check this out. You can watch my little video. There I am. Kind of funny, but there I am. So yeah, guys, check out these 2 courses. Again, one is free, one is paid. Start here or start here. You can't go wrong, guys. But definitely join us somewhere. Join us in the BB Academy. Join us in the BB Terminal, guys. It's absolutely fantastic. But either way, if not, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to Market Check. You guys are great. Thanks for being here, and we will see you guys Monday. Today's Friday. So everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe and take care.
Peace.